Welcome everyone to our channel The Planner's Way. Myself Rohit. Today I'm going to cover the topic dependencies. We'll try to understand what the dependencies are, why we need to find out the dependencies first in place, why it is important to make a robust schedule. Let's dig in further. Okay, what's the dependencies is? Dependency defines the logical task relationship that determines the correct order of the project activities in a project, which means we need to figure out which activities need to be prioritized first or what's the sequence of the activities in a project to maintain the robust schedule. The importance of the dependency: proper dependency ensures the accurate scheduling, preventing delays and resource conflicts. If we know this task need to be prioritized first or this task needs to be done first, then we can maintain the resource conflicts as well. We understand which resources is needed when in the schedule and try to figure out the resource mapping from there. Understanding dependencies helps anticipating the bottlenecks and optimize the task if sequencing efficiently, which is also one of the benefit of having the dependencies on place. The different type of dependencies within a project that we find out while making a robust plan or while making a schedule are: one, the basic type is the finish to start. It is the most common type of the dependencies that is between one task to another while making a plan. In a plan, around 90% of the dependencies that we find will be the finish to start, which means task B starts after the task A finishes. That means A task need to be done first, then we complete the task B. For example, foundation must complete before wall erection. That means foundation need to be complete before that of the wall erection. And the second type of the dependencies is start to start, which means task B starts after the task A start. These are the tasks which we can do simultaneously. For taking an example, we can begin the testing once we start up the coding. The third one is the finish to finish. Task B finishes after task A finishes. For example, assembly finish when inspection finishes. The last one and the most common type of the relationship is the start to finish dependencies in the schedule. What it covers is task B finishes after task A starts. Here, for example, night shifts ends when the day shift starts. Okay. What's the impact on the schedule? What's the role of dependencies? Dependency determines a sequence and timing, shaping the overall project schedule effectively. If we know which task is dependent in one another, we can easily maintain the schedule, either the sequence of activities, and maintain the logic finish to start, either the start to start or finish to finish. It will lead to our overall completion date. Secondly, we can find out critical path, which is the longest path of the dependent task sequence dictating the shortest project duration. We can figure out some tasks which are the non-critical activities we can delay without affecting the overall project completion. Risk of mismanagement. What this means is if we have incorrect dependency, it will cause the cascading delays. That means one delay will cascade on the other. That means if the task A and B have hard and fast logic and task A have been delayed, then the task B will automatically follow the sequence. Let's take a couple of examples which will demonstrate what these dependencies are, like how the finish to start work, how the start to start work, how the finish to finish work. Let's take one of the example. Concreting need to be done before we erect of the wall. What that means is first we need to do the concreting work. We will complete of the foundation, then we will erect the wall. That means there is hard dependency between these two items. We can't do it or simultaneously. There need to be foundation first, then we can commence the wall erection. The second is the testing to begin shortly after the coding start. These two tasks have soft dependency, you can say. We can start one after another or we can do simultaneously. Once the coding start, we can begin the testing for those codes and they can run in parallel. Manufacturing dependency. Once we complete the inspection things, we have inspected all the items that we have put across. then the assembly of the item will be completed, which will be the finish to finish. At the end, let's summarize what we have look across in this video. We figure out what the dependencies are, what the hard dependencies, what the soft dependencies, why you need to figure out the dependencies in first place before why it is key to maintain a schedule. And the second is risk of incorrect logic. Once we figure out the logic, if it is incorrect one, if we have made the logic as finish to finish instead of having start to start, how it impacts the schedule or vice versa. Validation of the links. Why you need to validate the links first before maintaining a baseline. Those things we have discussed here. And the different type of dependencies we have covered. The next video in this series will be on Gantt chart. For more insight, please subscribe The Planner's Way. Thank you. I'll see you on the next video.